QA, QC, and testing. Okay, if you've been in the tech world for like 5 minutes, you've heard these words thrown around a lot, and you've probably heard them used as if they all mean the exact same thing. But what if they don't? What if they actually represent totally different ways of thinking about how to build amazing software? Let's get into it.
Come on, let's be real for a second. Have you ever said, "Oh, I work in QA," when what you actually do all day is run tests on software? Hey, no judgment. It's probably the most common mix-up in the industry. But by the time we're done here, you're not just going to know the difference. You'll understand why it's a game changer. So to really get this, don't think of these terms as just a list of 3 related things. The best way to see it is as a hierarchy, a structure. We're going to call it the quality pyramid, and it's going to show you exactly how each piece fits together, from the very top-level strategy all the way down to the nitty-gritty actions. All right, right at the top, the absolute peak of our pyramid, we have quality management. This is the big picture. It's the entire philosophy a company has about quality. Think of it as the constitution for quality. It sets all the rules, the goals, and the overall direction for everything, and I mean everything that comes after it. Now, sitting right under that big quality management umbrella, everything splits into 2 main pillars. You've got quality assurance on one side and quality control on the other. But here's the most important part. Look closely at where testing is. See? It's not its own separate pillar. It's actually a specific activity that lives inside of quality control. Honestly, getting this hierarchy right is the key to unlocking this whole thing. So let's talk about that first pillar, quality assurance, or QA. If you remember one word for QA, it's prevention. It's like a chef setting up their kitchen before they even start cooking. You know, making sure the knives are super sharp, all the ingredients are fresh, and the recipe is crystal clear. QA is all about creating the right processes to stop mistakes from ever even happening in the first place. And that brings us to the second pillar, quality control, or QC. So, if QA was setting up the kitchen, QC is actually tasting the soup right before it's sent out to the customer. It's all about the product, and it's reactive. The job of QC isn't to prevent mistakes, that was QA's job. QC's job is to find the mistakes by inspecting the finished product. And that's where testing comes in. Testing is the #1 tool for quality control. It's the actual physical act of putting the spoon in the soup and checking if it needs more salt. It is the hands-on process of running the software to find any gaps between what it's supposed to do and what it actually does. It's a massive, crucial part of QC, but it's not the whole story. Okay, definitions are one thing, but let's make this real. Let's imagine we're building a brand new mobile app that lets you order coffee. We're going to see exactly how QA, QC, and testing all play together to get this app from an idea to your phone. So first up, the QA team comes in and defines the rules of the game before a single line of code is written. They'll set up standards, things like every piece of new code has to be reviewed by another developer, or all payment features must have automated tests. They're literally building quality into the process itself. Then, as the app starts coming to life, the tester gets their hands on it, and they don't just tap the order coffee button and call it a day. No way. They try to break it. What happens if I try to order 1,000 espressos? What if I use a credit card that expired last year? They find every single bug, and they write it all down. And finally, someone in a quality control role looks at all that data. They see, okay, the testers found 12 bugs, but only 2 of them are really critical. And based on that analysis, they make the final call. The quality is good enough. We're ready to launch.
Now that we've seen it in action, let's just boil it all down to the single most important difference. Seriously, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Here it is, the core distinction in a nutshell. Think about building a car. QA is the engineer who designs the robotic assembly line to make sure every single door fits perfectly from the very start. They are proactive. They are focused on the process. QC, on the other hand, is the inspector at the end of that line with a clipboard, physically checking each car to see if any mistakes manage to slip through. They are reactive. They are focused on the final product.
Let me put it another way, because this is so important. QA is about building the product right. It's all about the process. QC is about making sure you built the right product. It's all about the final result. One is focused on the journey, the other is all about the destination.
So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get the difference, but so what? Why is this such a big deal? Well, believe it or not, truly understanding these roles can have a massive impact on how good a software team can actually be.
See, when a team really gets this, their whole mindset starts to shift. They stop focusing only on finding bugs, and they start building processes to prevent them from ever happening. And that leads to smarter development. way higher quality products, and everybody knows exactly what their job is. You stop playing defense, just reacting to problems, and you start playing offense. And what that means for the person using the app is a much better, much more reliable experience.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you see the difference between proactive QA and reactive QC, where do you think a team should really invest most of its time and energy if they want long-term success? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.